My husband tried to end my life and make it look self-inflicted, so I faked my death and disappeared. My name is Amber, and I'm standing in the parking lot of a grocery store in a town 300 miles from where I used to live, staring at a man I never thought I'd see again. My hands are shaking so hard I drop my keys. They hit the pavement with a metallic clink that sounds too loud in my ears. Everything sounds too loud right now. My heartbeat, the traffic on the highway nearby, his voice saying my name, Amber, please just hear me out. I should run. Every instinct in my body is screaming at me to run, but my legs won't move. I'm frozen, looking at Marcus, my husband or ex-husband or whatever he is now, and all I can think about is the last time I saw him. The night he pushed me toward the edge of our balcony and told me it would all be over soon. That was 3 years ago. How did you find me? My voice comes out as a whisper. He takes a step closer. He looks older. There are lines around his eyes that weren't there before. His hair is grayer at the temples. It took a long time, but I had to find you. The kids don't. I hold up my hand. Don't you dare talk about them. They miss you, he says. Emma asks about you every single day. Tyler drew a picture of you last week and put it on his wall. The mention of their names is like a knife twisting in my chest. Emma is 8 now. Tyler is 6. I left when Emma was 5 and Tyler was 3. I've missed birthdays, first days of school, lost teeth, bedtime stories. I left because I wanted to be alive for them someday, even if I couldn't be there right then. Let me back up. Let me tell you how this all started, because I know what you're thinking. You're thinking no one just fakes their death and abandons their kids unless something really, really bad happened. You're right. Marcus and I met in college. He was charming, successful, the kind of guy who could walk into a room and own it. I was a junior studying psychology. He was getting his MBA. We got married 2 years after graduation, and for a while, things were good. Really good. He took me to nice restaurants, surprised me with flowers, told me I was the most beautiful woman in the world. His parents loved me. My parents thought he was the perfect son-in-law. Everyone thought we were the ideal couple. Then Emma was born and something shifted. Marcus became controlling. He wanted to know where I was all the time, who I was talking to, what I was spending money on. He opened a joint bank account and insisted I close my personal one. He said married people should share everything. At first I thought it was sweet. He wanted to be involved in every aspect of my life. He said it was because he loved me so much. I thought it was just new parent stress. I made excuses. I told myself he was just being protective. My friend Jessica was the first one to notice something was wrong. We'd been friends since high school, and she came to visit when Emma was about 6 months old. Amber, does Marcus always check your phone like that? She asked after he picked up my cell and scrolled through my messages while I was making coffee. He's just making sure I'm not missing anything important, I said. Jessica looked at me for a long moment. That's not normal, but I didn't listen. I was tired. I was overwhelmed with being a new mom. I convinced myself Jessica was overreacting. By the time Tyler was born, Marcus had isolated me from most of my friends, including Jessica. He told me she was toxic, that she was trying to cause problems in our marriage, that real friends wouldn't criticize him like that. So I stopped answering her calls, stopped replying to her texts. Eventually, she stopped reaching out. My family lived in Arizona. We were in Chicago, and Marcus always had reasons why we couldn't visit. Too expensive, too much going on with work. The kids were too young to travel. His job was demanding. We needed to save money. When my mom suggested they come to visit us instead, Marcus said our apartment was too small, that we didn't have room, that it would stress me out too much to host guests with 2 small kids. Looking back, I can see how methodically he cut me off from everyone who might have helped me. But when you're in it, when it's happening slowly over years, you don't see the pattern. You just see individual moments that seem reasonable in isolation. The physical abuse started small. A grab that was too rough. A push during an argument, then it escalated. A slap, a shove that sent me into a wall. He always apologized after. Always said he'd never do it again. Always blamed stress or me or something I'd done wrong. The first time he hit me, really hit me, was on Tyler's first birthday. I'd organized a small party, just us and a couple of neighbors with kids. Marcus came home from work and was immediately angry. "Why are all these people in my house?" he demanded. "It's Tyler's birthday party," I said. "I told you about it last week." "No, you didn't. I had." I'd reminded him 3 times, but arguing about it would only make things worse, so I apologized. Said, I must have forgotten to mention it. Promised to keep the party short, but he was already furious. After everyone left, after the kids were in bed, he cornered me in the kitchen. "You embarrassed me," he said, making me look like I forgot my own son's birthday. "I'm sorry," I said. "I should have reminded you this morning." "You should have canceled it," he said. Then he hit me open-handed across the face hard enough that my head snapped to the side and I tasted blood where my teeth cut into my cheek. I stood there shocked. He'd never done that before. Grabbed me, yes. Pushed me, yes, but never actually struck me. "Look what you made me do," he said. Then he left the room. I should have left that night. But where would I go with 2 kids? How would I support them? Marcus controlled all our money. I didn't have a job. He'd convinced me to stay home with Emma and Tyler. He said it was better for them, that they needed their mother, so I stayed. And it got worse. He started telling people I was unstable, that I was having trouble adjusting to motherhood, that I was depressed. He'd bring it up at dinner parties, at family gatherings, always with concern in his voice. Always like he was so worried about me. "Amber's been struggling," he'd say. "I'm trying to be supportive, but it's hard." He made sure everyone saw him as the devoted husband dealing with his difficult wife. Meanwhile, at home, the abuse continued. He pushed me down the stairs once, told the ER I tripped while carrying laundry. They believed him. I had bruises on my arms from where he'd grabbed me, finger-shaped bruises, but no one questioned it. I started planning to leave secretly. I opened a new bank account at a different bank and started transferring small amounts of money. $20 here, $50 there, nothing he'd notice. I contacted a domestic violence hotline. They gave me resources, told me to have a bag packed and ready. I packed essentials for me and the kids, clothes, important documents, some toys. I hid the bag in the back of my closet under old winter coats I never wore. I was careful. So careful, but I wasn't careful enough. One night about 3 years ago, Marcus came home late. He'd been drinking. I could smell it on him from across the room. He was agitated, pacing back and forth in our living room while I tried to get the kids ready for bed. "We need to talk," he said. I told him we could talk after I put Emma and Tyler down. But he grabbed my arm, pulled me toward the balcony of our apartment. We lived on the 8th floor. "I know what you've been doing," he said. My blood went cold. "I don't know what you're talking about." "The bank account. The bag in the back of your closet. Did you really think I wouldn't find out?" He'd been through my things, gone through my closet, checked my emails. He probably had been for weeks. He pushed me against the balcony railing. The metal dug into my back. Below us, the parking lot looked impossibly far away. "You're not leaving me," he said. "You're not taking my kids." That's when I realized what he was planning to do. He was going to push me over, make it look like I jumped. He'd already been telling people I was depressed, that I was struggling, that I wasn't myself. He'd been laying the groundwork. "Marcus, please," I said. "Think about Emma and Tyler." "I am thinking about them," he said. "They deserve better than a mother who abandoned them." He was already constructing the narrative. In his mind, I'd already left them, so if I died, it would be my fault. He pushed me harder against the railing. I felt myself start to tip backward. The night air was cold on my face. I could see stars above us, and I remember thinking, this might be the last thing I ever see. But then Emma called out from inside the apartment. "Mommy!" Marcus froze. For just a second, his grip loosened. That's all I needed. I shoved him as hard as I could and ran inside. I grabbed Emma, told her to get Tyler, and we locked ourselves in the kids' bedroom. I called 911, but by the time the police arrived, Marcus had composed himself. He told them I was having a mental health crisis, that I'd been acting erratically, that he was worried about me, that I'd threatened to hurt myself and he'd been trying to calm me down. And because he was charming, because he was successful, because he knew how to play the game, they believed him. They looked at me with pity, suggested I talk to someone, get some help. They didn't arrest him. They didn't even take a report. One officer pulled me aside before they left. "Ma'am, if you're having thoughts of hurting yourself, there are resources available." I tried to tell him what really happened, but I could see in his eyes he didn't believe me. I sounded hysterical. Marcus sounded calm and concerned. After they left, Marcus went to the bedroom. Didn't say another word to me, just closed the door. I stayed up all night with Emma and Tyler on the couch, knowing I had to do something, knowing the police wouldn't help, knowing if I tried to leave through normal channels, Marcus would fight me. He had money, lawyers, connections, and he'd already laid the groundwork to make me look unstable. That's when I knew I had to disappear. I couldn't go through legal channels. If I filed for divorce, Marcus would get a good lawyer. He'd use everything he'd been saying about me against me. He'd probably get custody, and then I'd have no way to protect myself or the kids. If he had custody and I had supervised visitation, he could do whatever he wanted and I'd be dead within a year. I was sure of it. So I did something desperate. I had a friend from college named Rachel, who I'd reconnected with online a few months earlier. She'd been through something similar with her ex. She'd gotten out by faking a hiking accident and starting over in a new state. I reached out to her through an encrypted messaging app Marcus didn't know about. "I need help," I wrote. "It's bad." She called me from a burner phone the next day while Marcus was at work. "Tell me everything," she said. So I did. I told her about the balcony, about the police not believing me, about how trapped I felt. "I can help you," she said. "But you need to understand what you're giving up. You'll have to leave Emma and Tyler behind. You won't be able to contact them. It might be years before you can come back into their lives." "I know," I said. "But if I stay, I'm dead, and then they'll have no mother at all." We spent 2 weeks planning everything. Rachel was careful, methodical. She'd done this before, not just for herself, but for other women in similar situations. She had contacts, people who could help. "The most important thing is making it believable." She said, "You need to leave evidence that points to one conclusion. You can't leave room for doubt." She helped me figure out the logistics. Where to go, how to get there, how to create a new identity. The hardest part was the video messages. I recorded them on Rachel's phone, one for Emma, one for Tyler, one for both of them together. In Emma's video, I told her how proud I was of her, how smart and kind and brave she was, how sorry I was that I had to leave. "Mommy loves you so much," I said, tears streaming down my face. "And one day when you're older, I hope you'll understand why I had to do this. I hope you can forgive me." Tyler's video was shorter. He was only 3. I didn't know how much he'd understand, but I told him I loved him, that I'd always love him, that nothing was his fault. In the video for both of them, I tried to explain in simple terms. "Mommy has to go away for a while to keep everyone safe, but I'll never stop thinking about you. I'll never stop loving you, and one day I promise we'll be together again." Recording those videos almost broke me. I almost changed my mind, almost decided to take my chances with the legal system. But then I thought about that night on the balcony, about how close I'd come, about how Marcus had looked at me with cold, calculated rage, and I knew I had to go through with it. I told Marcus I wanted to go on a weekend trip by myself to clear my head. To my surprise, he agreed. I think he liked the idea of me being gone. It made him look supportive, like he was giving his struggling wife space. "Take as long as you need," he said. "I'll handle the kids." I kissed Emma and Tyler goodbye that Friday morning, held them a little longer than usual. Tyler squirmed away to play with his toys. Emma hugged me back. "Where are you going, Mommy?" she asked. "Just a little trip," I said. "I'll see you soon." It was a lie, but I didn't know how else to say goodbye. I drove to Devil's Canyon State Park about 2 hours north. It was a place I'd been before, a few years earlier. A place with hiking trails and steep cliffs and a reputation for being dangerous. I parked my car near one of the trailheads, left my phone on the front seat, left my jacket draped over the passenger seat, left my wallet in the glove compartment, and I left a note. It was the hardest thing I've ever had to write. I made it. Vague but suggestive, talked about being tired, about not seeing another way, about how everyone would be better off without me. I made sure my handwriting was shaky, made it look like I'd been crying when I wrote it. Then I hiked to Overlook Point, a cliff that dropped 200 feet to the river below. I took my wedding ring off and left it on a rock near the edge, along with a scarf Marcus had given me for Christmas. That part was Rachel's idea. "You need to leave something personal," she'd said. "Something that makes it look like you stood there for a while thinking about it." Then I hiked down the backside of the mountain using a trail that wasn't on the official park map. Rachel was waiting in a parking area 2 miles away. When I got to her car, I broke down, started sobbing. She let me cry for a few minutes, then handed me a bottle of water and a change of clothes. "We need to move," she said gently. "We'll process this later. Right now, we need to get you somewhere safe." She drove me to a town called Millfield, Montana. Population 3,000, the kind of place where people minded their own business and didn't ask too many questions. She'd already arranged everything. A room for rent in a house owned by an elderly woman named Dorothy. A job at a diner called Rosie's that was willing to pay under the table for a few weeks until I could get proper documents. "This is Claire Anderson," Rachel told Dorothy, introducing me with my new name. "She's looking for a fresh start." Dorothy, who must have been in her 70s, looked at me with kind eyes. "Aren't we all dear?" "The room's upstairs. bathrooms down the hall, rents due on the first of the month. That was it. No questions about where I came from or why I was there. The first few weeks were the hardest. I worked double shifts at the diner to keep busy, to keep myself from thinking, to keep myself from checking the news. But eventually I couldn't resist. I went to the library and used one of their computers. "Missing woman presumed dead in Devil's Canyon," the headline read. The article said my car had been found. The note had been found. My personal belongings. Search and rescue had been looking for my body for 5 days but hadn't found anything. The river's current was strong. They thought I might have been swept miles downstream. Marcus had given an interview. There was a photo of him holding Emma and Tyler. He looked devastated. "Amber was struggling," he said in the article. I tried to get her help. I wish I'd done more. He'd set up a GoFundMe for mental health awareness. It had already raised $30,000. I closed the browser and walked back to Dorothy's house in a daze. That night, I cried until I couldn't breathe. Cried for Emma and Tyler. Cried for the life I'd lost. Cried because I knew I just made the biggest, most painful decision of my life. And I had no idea if it was the right one. The months that followed were strange. I was alive, but not living. I went through the motions. Woke up, went to work, came home, slept, repeated. Dorothy didn't cry, but she was kind. She'd leave cups of tea outside my door. Sometimes she'd invite me to watch game shows with her in the evening. I always said yes because the alternative was sitting alone in my room thinking about my kids. Rachel called every few weeks from different numbers, burner phones she'd throw away after using. We never talked long, just enough for her to make sure I was okay. "Are you eating?" she'd ask. "Yes." "Sleeping?" "Not really." "It gets easier," she'd say. I promise. It doesn't feel like it now, but it does. 6 months after I disappeared, Rachel called with news. "I found a way to get the videos to the kids," she said. "I know you said to wait until they were older, but I thought you should know the option exists." "How?" I asked. "I have a contact who can get them to Emma's school counselor anonymously. The counselor could give them to Emma and Tyler in a safe setting." I thought about it for days. Would it help them to know the truth, or would it make things worse? In the end, I decided to wait. They were so young. Tyler wouldn't even understand, and Emma was only 5. How do you explain to a 5-year-old that her mother had to fake her death? "Hold on to them," I told Rachel. "We'll know when the time is right." A year passed, then 2. I built something resembling a life in Millfield. I got promoted to manager at the diner, made friends with some of the regulars, started volunteering at the local animal shelter on my days off. Dorothy and I became close. She told me about her late husband, about her daughter who lived in Seattle and never called. "Everyone's running from something, Claire," she said one evening. "The trick is figuring out what you're running toward." I sent money when I could. Rachel had set up a trust fund for Emma and Tyler that couldn't be traced back to me. It wasn't much, a few hundred a month, but it was something. On their birthdays, I'd write them letters I could never send. Tell them about my day, about the town I lived in, about how much I missed them and loved them. I kept the letters in a box under my bed. Maybe one day I'd be able to give them to my kids. Maybe not. But writing them made me feel connected to Emma and Tyler somehow. I thought about them every single day, wondered what they looked like now, whether Emma still loved to draw, whether Tyler still insisted on wearing his dinosaur shirt 3 days in a row. I checked the news occasionally. Marcus had become something of a public figure. He'd turned my death into a crusade. He did speaking engagements about mental health. He was interviewed on podcasts. He even wrote an op-ed for a major newspaper. Every time I saw his face, I felt sick. He was profiting from what he'd done to me, building a career on my pain. But I couldn't do anything about it. I was dead. And I had to stay dead if I wanted to stay alive. 3 years after I disappeared, I was working the lunch shift at the diner when a man came in. He sat at the counter and ordered coffee and pie. There was something about him that made me nervous. The way he watched me, the way his eyes followed me as I moved around the diner. "You look familiar," he said when I brought his check. "I just have one of those faces," I said, my heart pounding. He left a generous tip and a business card. "If you ever remember where we might have met, give me a call." I looked at the card after he left. James Chen, private investigator. My hands started shaking. That night, I called Rachel from a payphone outside a gas station. Someone knows, I said. A private investigator came into the diner. Did he say who hired him? Rachel asked. No, but who else would it be? Okay, Rachel said. Don't panic. Did you talk to him? Just took his order. He said I looked familiar. He's fishing, Rachel said. He probably says that to everyone, but we need to be careful. Can you lay low for a while? How? I have to work. Call in sick for a few days. Don't go anywhere. You don't have to. I'll see what I can find out. I spent the next 3 days barely leaving my room. Dorothy noticed. You feeling all right, dear? She asked, bringing me soup. Just under the weather, I lied. Rachel called on day 4. It's Marcus. He hired a team of investigators 6 months ago. They've been tracking down every woman matching your description in a 5-state radius. What do I do? You could run again, she said. Or what? Or we could consider confronting this. It's been 3 years. You have evidence. You have my testimony. You have those videos. Maybe it's time to come back. I can't. I said he'll destroy me. He'll take the kids. He'll what, kill you? He's a public figure now, Amber. He's not going to risk that. And you're not alone this time. You have me. You have proof, but I wasn't ready. Not yet. I told Rachel I needed time to think, and she understood. I went back to work the next day. Kept my head down, avoided looking at anyone too directly. But 2 days later, the investigator came back. This time, he brought a photo. Do you know this woman? He asked, showing me a picture of myself from 5 years ago. No, I said. I don't think so. Her name was Amber Mitchell, he said, watching my reaction. She died 3 years ago. Or at least that's what everyone thinks. I kept my face neutral. I'm sorry. I don't know her. The thing is, he continued, I've been doing this job for 20 years, and I'm pretty good at recognizing faces, even when people change their hair, their style, even when they lose weight or gain weight. He tapped the photo. I think you're her. I think you're Amber Mitchell. My heart was racing so fast I thought I might pass out. I think you have me confused with someone else. Maybe, he said, but maybe not. Here's the thing, Miss Anderson. Or should I say Ms. Mitchell? Your husband hired me to find you. He says he just wants closure. Wants to know what really happened. I'm not who you think I am, I said firmly. And I need you to leave, he stood up. Fair enough, but he's not going to give up. He's determined to find the truth. Might be easier for everyone if you just talk to him. After he left, I quit my shift early, told my boss I was sick, went home and started packing. But where would I go? How many times could I run? I was sitting on my bed, surrounded by my meager belongings, when Dorothy knocked. Claire, can I come in? I opened the door. She took one look at my face and sat down beside me. Tell me what's wrong, she said. And for some reason, I did. I told her everything. My real name, Marcus, the abuse, the balcony, the escape, all of it. She listened without interrupting. When I finished, she was quiet for a long moment. I had a husband like that once, she finally said. This was back in the 50s, before women had options. Before shelters and hotlines and laws, that meant something. What happened, I asked. He died, she said simply. Heart attack. I won't pretend I wasn't relieved. Does that make me a bad person? No, I said it makes you human. Here's what I think, Dorothy said. You can keep running. You can spend the rest of your life looking over your shoulder. Or you can stand your ground. You're not the same woman who left 3 years ago. You're stronger now. You have people who believe you. But the kids will grow up without their mother if you keep hiding, she said. Is that what you want? I didn't know what I wanted. I was so tired of being afraid. Tired of running. Tired of living half a life. That night I made a decision. I wasn't going to run. The next morning, I went to the grocery store like I always did. Saturday morning shopping. Same routine I'd kept for 3 years. And that's when I saw him, Marcus, standing in the parking lot next to my car. Which brings us back to where we started. How did you find me? I ask, my voice steadier than I feel. The investigator tracked you down, he says. It wasn't easy. You covered your tracks well. What do you want? I want you to come home, he says. I've changed, Amber. I've been in therapy. I've been working on myself. The kids need their mother. I almost laugh. You tried to take my life, Marcus. You were going to push me off a balcony. I was in a bad place, he says. And his voice has that same smooth quality. It always had when he was manipulating people. I wasn't thinking clearly, but I've spent 3 years getting help. I'm not that person anymore. I don't believe you. His expression shifts just slightly, just enough to remind me of who he really is underneath the polished exterior. Then believe this, he says. If you don't come back, I'm going to tell everyone the truth. That you're alive, that you faked your death, that you abandoned your children. You'll be arrested for fraud, for filing a false police report, for child abandonment. You'll go to prison, Amber, and I'll have full custody of Emma and Tyler. There it is. The real Marcus, the one who always needs control, the one who uses threats and fear to get what he wants. You can't prove I'm alive, I say. But even as I say it, I know it's a weak argument. He pulls out his phone and holds it up. The screen shows a video. He's been recording this whole conversation. I just did, he says with a small smile. My mind races. I need time to think. I need to figure out what to do. I need to talk to Rachel. I need time, I say. You can't just show up after 3 years and expect me to make a decision right now. You have 24 hours, he says. Meet me tomorrow at noon at the coffee shop on Main Street. If you don't show up, I'm going to the police. And Amber, don't even think about running. I have people watching you now. You won't get far. He walks away, leaving me standing in the parking lot with my heart pounding so hard I think it might explode. I get in my car. My hands are shaking so badly I can barely get the key in the ignition. I drive not to Dorothy's house. Not anywhere Marcus might expect. I go to a motel on the edge of town and pay cash for a room. Then I call Rachel from the motel's landline. He found me, I say when she answers. I know, she says. I've been trying to reach you. They followed me, Amber. I'm so sorry. I tried to lose them, but they were professionals. They must have been tailing me for weeks. He wants me to come back, I say. He's threatening to expose me if I don't. What are you going to do? I think about Emma and Tyler. About 3 years of missed birthdays and holidays. About the videos I recorded for them. About all the letters I've written but never sent. I think about the life I've built here. Small and quiet and safe. A life where I'm not afraid. Where I'm not constantly looking over my shoulder. But it's not real, is it? It's a half-life, a ghost life. I don't know. I admit I can't go back to him. But I can't lose Emma and Tyler forever either. There might be another option, Rachel says slowly. But it's risky, tell me. What if we expose him first? The idea takes root in my mind immediately. What do you mean? Think about it, she says. He's been playing the grieving husband for 3 years. He's got a foundation in your name. He's a public figure. He's built his entire reputation on your supposed death. What if we reveal that you're alive and tell everyone why you disappeared? No one will believe me. I say he's got lawyers, money, credibility. I'm just a woman who faked her death and abandoned her kids, but you have proof, Rachel says. You have the videos you recorded for Emma and Tyler. You have documentation from the domestic violence hotline. You have me as a witness to the planning. You have those medical records from when you went to the ER. And most importantly, you have the fact that he found you and threatened you instead of calling the police immediately. Think about it. Why would a grieving husband who just discovered his wife is alive try to blackmail her instead of celebrating? Why would he threaten her? She has a point. A good point. If I go public, I'll probably still get in trouble for faking my death. I say maybe. Rachel says, probably, but you'll also be alive. You'll have a chance to tell your story, and Emma and Tyler will know the truth. They'll know you didn't abandon them because you didn't love them. I spend the rest of the night thinking. I barely sleep. I pace the small motel room. I turn on the TV but don't watch it. I take a shower and stand under the hot water until it runs cold. When the sun comes up, I've made my decision. I'm not meeting Marcus at that coffee shop. I'm not playing his game anymore. Instead, I'm going to tell my story. I start making calls. The first one is to a journalist named Jennifer Martinez. She works for a major cable news network and has done extensive reporting on domestic violence. I've followed her work over the years. When I tell her who I am, there's a long pause. The Amber Mitchell, she says. The woman who went missing 3 years ago at Devil's Canyon. Yes, I say I'm alive and I have a story you're going to want to hear. She's skeptical at first, thinks it might be a hoax, but she agrees to meet me. We meet at a diner 2 towns over. I bring everything. The videos I recorded for Emma and Tyler. Copies of documentation from the domestic violence hotline. Rachel had kept everything. Threatening messages Marcus sent me before I left that I'd forwarded to Rachel's email. Bank statements showing how he controlled all our finances. Medical records from when I went to the ER after he pushed me down the stairs and I told them I'd fallen. X-rays showing a fractured wrist. I tell her everything about the escalating abuse. About the night on the balcony. About how the police didn't believe me. About how I felt I had no choice but to disappear. Jennifer records it all, takes notes, asks questions. When I'm done, she sits back and looks at me with an expression I can't quite read. This is going to blow up, she says finally. You know that, right? Your life is never going to be the same. It's not the same now, I say. At least this way, my kids will know the truth. What about legal consequences? She asks. You filed a false report. You left your children. There could be charges. I'm willing to face them, I say. As long as Emma and Tyler know I didn't abandon them because I didn't love them. As long as they know the truth about their father. What about Marcus? Jennifer asks. He's going to fight this. He has resources, a platform. He's going to say you're lying, that you're unstable, that this is some kind of mental breakdown. Let him try, I say, and I'm surprised by how calm I sound. The evidence speaks for itself. Jennifer asks if I have any other proof. Anything that would corroborate my story. There's one more thing, I say. I pull out my phone, a burner I bought yesterday, and play the video Marcus took of us in the parking lot. In it, you can clearly hear him threatening me, telling me I have 24 hours to come back, or he'll go to the police, telling me he has people watching me. Jennifer's eyes widen. He recorded himself threatening you. He probably thought he could edit it, I say. Make it look different, but I recorded it too. From my phone in my pocket. You can hear everything he said. Jennifer leans forward. Amber, this is huge. This changes everything. He's not just a domestic abuser. He's been building a career on a lie. He's been taking donations, doing speaking engagements, writing articles, all based on your supposed death. And now he's trying to blackmail you into silence. Can you run the story? I ask. I can, she says. But I want to be clear about what's going to happen. Once this goes public, there's no taking it back. You'll be under intense scrutiny. People will have opinions. Some will support you, others won't. Marcus will go on the offensive. It's going to be brutal. I understand, I say. And you'll likely face legal consequences. I know. Okay. Jennifer says, then let's do this, but I want to do it right. I want to verify everything. Talk to Rachel. Get documentation from the domestic violence organization. Contact the ER where you were treated. This needs to be airtight. She spends the next 2 days investigating. She interviews Rachel, who tells her everything about helping me escape. She contacts the domestic violence hotline and gets confirmation that I'd reached out to them multiple times in the months before I disappeared. She gets the medical records from the ER visit. She even finds other women. Marcus had a girlfriend in college who he dated before me. Jennifer tracks her down. Her name is Lisa, and she tells a story that sounds eerily familiar. Marcus was controlling, jealous. He pushed her once during an argument. She broke up with him after that, but he stalked her for months afterward. There's also a woman named Kayla who worked with Marcus about 5 years ago. She says he made her uncomfortable, would stand too close, touch her arm when he talked to her. Once, at an office party, he cornered her in a hallway and tried to kiss her. She reported it to HR, but Marcus denied everything. Said she was lying to get him in trouble because he'd rejected her advancement. HR believed him because he was a star employee. Kayla ended up leaving the company. The patterns emerge. Marcus isn't just an abuser. He's a predator who knows how to manipulate systems and people to get what he wants. Jennifer puts it all together, creates a comprehensive report. Before she runs it, she gives me one last chance to back out. Once this airs, there's no going back, she says. I'm ready, I tell her. The story runs on a Thursday evening. Prime time. The headline reads, Missing Mother Reveals She Faked Death to Escape Abuse from Husband Who Now Runs Foundation in Her Name. Jennifer does a full segment, shows clips from my interview, plays parts of the recording where Marcus threatens me, interviews Rachel, interviews Lisa and Kayla, lays out all the evidence. The internet explodes. Within an hour, the story is trending on social media. Amber's story starts gaining traction. People are sharing the story, adding their own experiences with domestic violence. Some people are sympathetic. They understand why I did what I did. They see Marcus for what he is. Others are critical. They say I abandoned my children, that I should have gone through proper channels, that faking my death was wrong no matter what the circumstances. Marcus responds quickly. He releases a statement denying everything. Says I'm mentally ill, that I need help, that he's devastated I'm alive but disappointed I'm spreading lies about him. I've spent 3 years mourning my wife and helping my children cope with their loss. His statement reads, Now I learned she's alive and spreading false accusations. This is clearly a sign of severe mental distress. I hope she gets the help she needs, but the statement falls flat because Jennifer had included the recording. People can hear Marcus threatening me. They can hear the coldness in his voice. The calculation. His foundation is immediately put under investigation. People start asking questions about the donations. Where did the money go? How much did Marcus personally benefit? The next day, Marcus's employer puts him on administrative leave pending an investigation. By day 3, major news outlets are picking up the story. I'm being asked to do interviews. I do a few carefully with Jennifer's guidance. I tell my story. I show the videos I recorded for Emma and Tyler. I didn't want to leave them. I say one interview, my voice breaking, but I wanted to be alive for them someday. I wanted them to have a mother, even if I couldn't be there right then. Public opinion starts to shift in my favor. Domestic violence advocates speak up. They explain how hard it is to leave, how the system often fails victims, how sometimes desperate people do desperate things, but I know I'm not in the clear. The police want to talk to me. I hire a lawyer, a good one that Rachel helps me find. Her name is Patricia Chen, and she specializes in cases involving domestic violence victims. You're going to be charged, Patricia tells me bluntly. Probably fraud for the false death, maybe filing a false report. But we're going to argue that you were in fear for your life, that you had no other options. We'll push for leniency. I turn myself in 5 days after the story breaks. I'm arrested and charged with insurance fraud. Apparently, Marcus had collected on a life insurance policy and filing a false report. The bail hearing is intense. The prosecutor argues I'm a flight risk, that I've already faked my death once. Patricia argues that I turned myself involuntarily, that I'm a victim of severe domestic abuse who was backed into an impossible corner, that I pose no threat to anyone. The judge sets bail at $50,000. Rachel posts it. I'm released with an ankle monitor and orders not to leave the state. Marcus, meanwhile, is facing his own legal troubles. The investigation into his foundation reveals financial irregularities. He'd been using donation money for personal expenses, nice dinners, expensive clothes, a new car. The district attorney starts investigating the assault allegations. Lisa and Kayla give statements. Rachel gives a detailed account of what I told her about the abuse. They want to charge Marcus, but there's a problem. Most of the physical abuse happened 3 years ago. Statute of limitations has run out on some of it, but there's one thing they can charge him with. The recording when Marcus recorded our conversation in that parking lot and threatened me. He committed a crime, extortion, blackmail. He's arrested 2 weeks after my story breaks. The media has a field day. Grief advocate charged with extorting dead wife. The headlines read, Marcus makes bail quickly. He has money and resources, but his reputation is destroyed. His law firm fires him. His friends distance themselves. The foundation shuts down completely. Emma and Tyler are temporarily placed with my parents in Arizona while everything gets sorted out. They fly out immediately when they hear the news. My mom calls me crying. Amber, honey, why didn't you tell us? We would have helped you. I know, Mom, I say. But I was so afraid. I thought Marcus would kill me if I tried to leave. We're going to get through this, she says. All of us as a family. My parents hire a lawyer to fight for custody of Emma and Tyler. They argue that I'm their mother and I acted out of desperation, but that I need time to stabilize before the kids can live with me. Child Protective Services gets involved. They investigate everything. They interview me, Marcus, my parents, Rachel, Dorothy. They talk to Emma and Tyler's teachers and school counselors. The kids' therapist is particularly helpful. She's been seeing Emma and Tyler since my death. She testifies that Emma has been struggling with the loss, that Tyler has behavioral issues, that both children would benefit from reconnecting with their mother in a therapeutic setting. The court case takes months. There are hearings and depositions and endless paperwork. My criminal case is resolved first. Patricia negotiates a plea deal. I plead guilty to filing a false report and insurance fraud. But because of the circumstances, the documented abuse, the lack of any prior criminal record, the fact that I ultimately came forward, I get probation and community service. No jail time. The judge, a woman in her 60s, looks at me with something like understanding when she delivers the sentence. Ms. Mitchell, she says, what you did was wrong. There are legal channels for leaving an abusive relationship. You should have used them, she pauses. However, I recognize that those channels often fail, that women in your situation sometimes feel they have no options. I hope that by telling your story, you'll help other women find better paths forward. I cry with relief. I'd been prepared for prison time. Marcus's case doesn't go as well for him. He's convicted of extortion and blackmail. He also faces civil suits from people who donated to his foundation under false pretenses. He gets 3 years in prison and has to pay back the money he misappropriated. But the most important case is the custody. Case.cps completes their investigation. They recommend that Emma and Tyler be placed with me with support from my parents. They note that while I made a desperate choice, I did so out of fear for my life. That I've been cooperative throughout the process, that I've attended all required therapy sessions, that I'm stable and capable of providing a safe home. Marcus fights it from prison. His lawyer argues that I abandoned the children, that I'm unfit, that he should maintain custody rights. The court disagrees. They terminate Marcus's parental rights based on the pattern of abuse and the threat he poses to the family. 6 months after my story breaks, Emma and Tyler are coming home to me. I've moved to a small house in a suburb of Denver. It's close to my parents who've relocated from Arizona to help with the transition. Dorothy moved with me too. She rents the basement apartment and helps with the kids when I'm at work. Rachel is there when they arrive. So are my parents. So is Dorothy. A social worker brings them. Emma is 8 now, almost 9. She's tall and has my eyes. Tyler is 6 and looks so much like Marcus. It hurts, but he has my smile. They both look scared. I kneel down to their level. Don't try to touch them. Don't want to overwhelm them. Hi, I say. My voice is shaking. I know this is confusing and scary. I know you probably have a lot of questions. Emma stares at me. Her eyes are red like she's been crying. Are you really our mom? Yes, I say. I'm really your mom. Why did you leave? Tyler asks. His voice is so small. Because I wanted to keep all of us safe, I say. And the only way I could do that was to leave for a little while. But I never stopped loving you. Not for one single second. I thought about you every single day. Emma's face crumples. I thought you died. I know, sweetie. And I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for everything you went through. Everything I put you through. Tyler starts crying. Then Emma starts crying. Then I'm crying. The social worker gives us space. My parents stay back. It's just the 3 of us. Can I hug you? Emma asks. Of course, I say. She wraps her arms around me and holds on tight. Tyler joins in. I hold both of my children for the first time in 3.5 years, and I think my heart might actually break from the combination of joy and grief. I missed you so much. I whisper into Emma's hair. Both of you so much. I missed you too, Mommy, Emma says. Tyler just holds on tighter. We stay like that for a long time, just holding each other. Eventually, my mom brings out cookies and milk. The kids are shy with her at first, but she's patient. She's always been good with kids. Dorothy shows Emma and Tyler their rooms. I let them decorate however they want. Emma chooses purple walls and a bookshelf. Tyler wants dinosaur everything. That first night, I tuck them in like I used to when they were little. Mommy, Emma asks as I'm turning off her light. Yeah, honey. Are you going to leave again? My heart breaks all over again. No, never. I promise. But you promised before, she says. When you left, you said you'd see me soon. She's right. I did promise and I broke that promise. You're right, I say, sitting on the edge of her bed. I did promise and then I left. And I can't change that. But I can promise you this. I will never leave you again unless I absolutely have to. And I will always tell you the truth, even when the truth is hard. Okay, she says. She sounds uncertain. I know trust isn't automatic, I say. I know I have to earn it back and I will. I'll be here every single day proving to you that you can count on me. She thinks about this. Can we watch the videos? The ones you made for us? My breath catches. You know about those? Grandma told me. She said you made videos before you left, explaining things. Do you want to see them? She nods. I get my laptop and pull up the videos. We watch them together, Emma and Tyler and me. In the videos, I'm younger, more scared. But the love in my eyes is unmistakable. When Video Me says, I will never stop loving you. I will never stop fighting to come back to you. Emma looks at me. You did come back, she says. I did, I confirm. And I'm never leaving again. Tyler, who's been quiet, speaks out. Where's Daddy? It's the question I've been dreading. Daddy's in a place where he needs to be right now, I say carefully. He made some bad choices and he's facing consequences for those choices. Did he hurt you? Emma asks. She's too smart. Always has been. I don't want to lie, but I also don't want to give them more information than they can handle. Yes, I say simply. He did, and that's why I had to leave. To keep myself safe so I could come back to you. Is he going to come back? Tyler asks. He sounds scared. No, I say firmly. He can't come back. The court's made sure of that. You're safe here. We all are. The adjustment period is hard. Emma has nightmares. Tyler wets the bed. Both of them have trouble at school. Emma's grades drop. Tyler gets in fights. We all go to therapy, individual and family. The therapist, Dr. Sandra Rodriguez, is patient and experienced. This is normal, she tells me during one of our sessions. They've experienced severe trauma. The judge sets bail at $50,000. Rachel posts it. I'm released with an ankle monitor and orders not to leave the state. Marcus, meanwhile, is facing his own legal troubles. The investigation into his foundation reveals financial irregularities. He'd been using donation money for personal expenses, nice dinners, expensive clothes, a new car. The district attorney starts investigating the assault allegations. Lisa and Kayla give statements. Rachel gives a detailed account of what I told her about the abuse. They want to charge Marcus, but there's a problem. Most of the physical abuse happened 3 years ago. Statute of limitations has run out on some of it, but there's one thing they can charge him with. The recording when Marcus recorded our conversation in that parking lot and threatened me. He committed a crime, extortion, blackmail. He's arrested 2 weeks after my story breaks. The media has a field day. Grief advocate charged with extorting dead wife. The headlines read, Marcus makes bail quickly. He has money and resources, but his reputation is destroyed. His law firm fires him. His friends distance themselves. The foundation shuts down completely. Emma and Tyler are temporarily placed with my parents in Arizona while everything gets sorted out. They fly out immediately when they hear the news. My mom calls me crying. Amber, honey, why didn't you tell us? We would have helped you. I know, Mom, I say. But I was so afraid. I thought Marcus would kill me if I tried to leave. We're going to get through this, she says. All of us as a family. My parents hire a lawyer to fight for custody of Emma and Tyler. They argue that I'm their mother and I acted out of desperation, but that I need time to stabilize before the kids can live with me. Child Protective Services gets involved. They investigate everything. They interview me, Marcus, my parents, Rachel, Dorothy. They talk to Emma and Tyler's teachers and school counselors. The kids' therapist is particularly helpful. She's been seeing Emma and Tyler since my death. She testifies that Emma has been struggling with the loss, that Tyler has behavioral issues, that both children would benefit from reconnecting with their mother in a therapeutic setting. The court case takes months. There are hearings and depositions and endless paperwork. My criminal case is resolved first. Patricia negotiates a plea deal. I plead guilty to filing a false report and insurance fraud. But because of the circumstances, the documented abuse, the lack of any prior criminal record, the fact that I ultimately came forward, I get probation and community service. No jail time. The judge, a woman in her 60s, looks at me with something like understanding when she delivers the sentence. Ms. Mitchell, she says, what you did was wrong. There are legal channels for leaving an abusive relationship. You should have used them, she pauses. However, I recognize that those channels often fail, that women in your situation sometimes feel they have no options. I hope that by telling your story, you'll help other women find better paths forward. I cry with relief. I'd been prepared for prison time. Marcus's case doesn't go as well for him. He's convicted of extortion and blackmail. He also faces civil suits from people who donated to his foundation under false pretenses. He gets 3 years in prison and has to pay back the money he misappropriated. But the most important case is the custody. Case.CPS completes their investigation. They recommend that Emma and Tyler be placed with me with support from my parents. They note that while I made a desperate choice, I did so out of fear for my life. That I've been cooperative throughout the process, that I've attended all required therapy sessions, that I'm stable and capable of providing a safe home. Marcus fights it from prison. His lawyer argues that I abandoned the children, that I'm unfit, that he should maintain custody rights. The court disagrees. They terminate Marcus's parental rights based on the pattern of abuse and the threat he poses to the family. 6 months after my story breaks, Emma and Tyler are coming home to me. I've moved to a small house in a suburb of Denver. It's close to my parents, who've relocated from Arizona to help with the transition. Dorothy moved with me, too. She rents the basement apartment and helps with the kids when I'm at work. Rachel is there when they arrive. So are my parents. So is Dorothy. A social worker brings them. Emma is 8 now, almost 9. She's tall and has my eyes. Tyler is 6 and looks so much like Marcus. It hurts, but he has my smile. They both look scared. I kneel down to their level. Don't try to touch them. Don't want to overwhelm them. Hi, I say. My voice is shaking. I know this is confusing and scary. I know you probably have a lot of questions. Emma stares at me. Her eyes are red like she's been crying. Are you really our mom? Yes, I say. I'm really your mom. Why did you leave? Tyler asks. His voice is so small. Because I wanted to keep all of us safe, I say. And the only way I could do that was to leave for a little while. But I never stopped loving you. Not for one single second. I thought about you every single day. Emma's face crumples. I thought you died. I know, sweetie. And I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for everything you went through. Everything I put you through. Tyler starts crying. Then Emma starts crying. Then I'm crying. The social worker gives us space. My parents stay back. It's just the 3 of us. Can I hug you? Emma asks. Of course, I say. She wraps her arms around me and holds on tight. Tyler joins in. I hold both of my children for the first time in 3.5 years, and I think my heart might actually break from the combination of joy and grief. I missed you so much, I whisper into Emma's hair. Both of you so much. I missed you too, Mommy, Emma says. Tyler just holds on tighter. We stay like that for a long time, just holding each other. Eventually, my mom brings out cookies and milk. The kids are shy with her at first, but she's patient. She's always been good with kids. Dorothy shows Emma and Tyler their rooms. I let them decorate however they want. Emma chooses purple walls and a bookshelf. Tyler wants dinosaur everything. That first night, I tuck them in like I used to when they were little. Mommy, Emma asks as I'm turning off her light. Yeah, honey. Are you going to leave again? My heart breaks all over again. No, never. I promise. But you promised before, she says. When you left, you said you'd see me soon. She's right. I did promise and I broke that promise. You're right, I say, sitting on the edge of her bed. I did promise and then I left. And I can't change that. But I can promise you this. I will never leave you again unless I absolutely have to. And I will always tell you the truth, even when the truth is hard. Okay, she says. She sounds uncertain. I know trust isn't automatic, I say. I know I have to earn it back and I will. I'll be here every single day proving to you that you can count on me. She thinks about this. Can we watch the videos? The ones you made for us? My breath catches. You know about those? Grandma told me. She said you made videos before you left, explaining things. Do you want to see them? She nods. I get my laptop and pull up the videos. We watch them together, Emma and Tyler and me. In the videos, I'm younger, more scared. But the love in my eyes is unmistakable. When Video Me says, I will never stop loving you. I will never stop fighting to come back to you. Emma looks at me. You did come back, she says. I did, I confirm. And I'm never leaving again. Tyler, who's been quiet, speaks out. Where's Daddy? It's the question I've been dreading. Daddy's in a place where he needs to be right now, I say carefully. He made some bad choices and he's facing consequences for those choices. Did he hurt you? Emma asks. She's too smart. Always has been. I don't want to lie, but I also don't want to give them more information than they can handle. Yes, I say simply. He did, and that's why I had to leave. To keep myself safe so I could come back to you. Is he going to come back? Tyler asks. He sounds scared. No, I say firmly. He can't come back. The court's made sure of that. You're safe here. We all are. The adjustment period is hard. Emma has nightmares. Tyler wets the bed. Both of them have trouble at school. Emma's grades drop. Tyler gets in fights. We all go to therapy, individual and family. The therapist, Dr. Sandra Rodriguez, is patient and experienced. This is normal, she tells me during one of our sessions. They've experienced severe trauma. Tyler has a play date. I have coffee with Rachel. But first, we all sit at the kitchen table together. Emma tells jokes. Tyler shows us a drawing he made. I flip the pancakes and pretend not to notice when Tyler sneaks extra chocolate chips. Dorothy comes up from her apartment and joins us. She's become such an integral part of our family. You know what I realized? Dorothy says, sipping her coffee. What, I ask? We're all survivors here. Every single one of us has been through something. But we didn't just survive. We found each other. We built something beautiful out of all that pain. She's right. This family isn't conventional. It's made up of people who found each other in the aftermath of trauma. But it's real and it's ours. To surviving and thriving, Rachel says, raising her coffee mug. We all raise our mugs. The kids have orange juice and toast. To surviving and thriving, we echo. 3 more years pass. Emma is now 17. Tyler is 13. Time has done what therapy and love and consistency do. It's helped us heal. Emma is applying to colleges. She wants to study psychology. Inspired by her own experiences with therapy, she's a straight A student, captain of the debate team, and has been accepted to 3 universities so far. Tyler is in 8th grade. He's still into drama, but he's also discovered a passion for cooking. He wants to go to culinary school after high school. They're good kids, happy kids. They have friends and activities and normal teenage problems like arguing over whose turn it is to do the dishes. They also have a relationship with their father, sort of. 2 years ago, Marcus reached out through lawyers. He wanted to send letters to Emma and Tyler, not to see them. He knew that would be rejected, but just to write to them occasionally. I wasn't sure about it. Neither was Patricia or Dr. Rodriguez. But Emma and Tyler were older now, old enough to have opinions. What do you think? I asked them. Emma was hesitant. I don't know if I want to hear from him. Tyler was more curious. I kind of want to know what he'd say. In the end, we agreed to try it with strict conditions. Marcus could write once every few months. The letters would go through me first. If Emma or Tyler wanted to stop at any time, we would. The first letter arrived 3 months later. It was addressed to both kids. In it, Marcus apologized. He explained that he'd been in therapy, that he was working on understanding why he'd done the things he'd done, that he didn't expect forgiveness, but wanted them to know he was trying to be better. Emma read it and didn't respond. Tyler wrote back a brief, polite letter. Over time, Tyler has continued writing to Marcus occasionally. Emma hasn't, and that's okay. They get to decide their own relationships with him. I've never written to Marcus. Never wanted to. As far as I'm concerned, that chapter of my life is closed. One afternoon, Emma comes home from school looking thoughtful. "Mom, can we talk?" she asks. "Of course." We sit on the couch. Tyler's at a friend's house, so it's just us. "I've been thinking about college," she says, about what I want to study. "Psychology, right?" "Yeah, but specifically, I want to focus on trauma and resilience. I want to work with kids who've been through bad situations, help them understand that their trauma doesn't define them." My eyes fill with tears. "Emma, that's beautiful. I also want to write about what happened to us," she says. "Not right now, but someday. I think our story could help people." "You don't have to do that," I say. "You don't owe anyone your story." "I know," she says, "but I want to. I want other kids who are going through what I went through to know they're not alone. That it gets better." I hug her tight. "You're incredible. Do you know that I learned from the best?" She says that night at dinner, Emma makes an announcement. "I've decided where I want to go to college." She says, "University of Denver." Tyler looks up from his pasta. "But I thought you wanted to go to that school in California." "I did," Emma says. "But I realized I don't want to go that far away. Not yet. I want to stay close to you guys." I try not to cry again. I've become such a crier these days. "Are you sure?" I ask. "Because we'll support whatever you decide." "I'm sure," she says. "Besides, Denver has a great site program, and I'll still be able to come home for Sunday pancakes." Tyler grins. "Good. Someone has to keep Mom from burning them." "Hey," I protest, laughing. "I've gotten better." We finish dinner, then watch a movie together. Just a normal Sunday night with my kids. Later, after they go to bed, I sit on the back porch with a cup of tea. It's a warm night, and I can hear crickets chirping. Rachel comes over. She often stops by in the evenings. "How are you doing?" she asks, sitting next to me. "Good," I say. "Really good. Emma told me about her college choice. She wants to stay close," I say. I'm trying not to be too happy about it. I don't want her to feel like she has to stay for me. "She's not staying for you," Rachel says. "She's staying because she wants to. Because she's built a life here. Because she's happy." I know. I say it's just hard to believe sometimes that we made it. That we're actually okay. "You're more than okay." Rachel says, "You're thriving." And she's right. We are. I think about that woman I used to be. The one who stood on that balcony certain she was going to die. The one who ran away in the middle of the night convinced she'd never see her children again. I think about the years in Montana. The grief, the guilt, the constant fear. And then I think about now. About Emma getting ready for college. About Tyler finding his passion. About Sunday pancakes and soccer games and normal, beautiful everyday life. We survived, all of us. And we did more than survive. We built something new, something better. "Do you ever hear from Marcus?" Rachel asks. "No," I say. "The kids get occasional letters, but I don't read them. I don't want to. That part of my life is over. Do you think he's really changed?" "I don't know." I say honestly, maybe, maybe not. But it doesn't matter anymore. He doesn't have power over me. He can't hurt me or the kids. And that's all that matters. Rachel nods. "You know, when I first helped you escape, I wasn't sure if we were doing the right thing. It seemed so extreme, so risky. And now I see Emma and Tyler. I see how happy they are, how healthy, and I know we did the right thing. Not the conventional thing. Maybe not even the legal thing, but the right thing." We sit in comfortable silence for a while, just enjoying the warm night. "I'm getting married," Rachel says suddenly. I turn to her, surprised. "What? When? Who?" She laughs. "Her name is Michelle. We've been dating for 6 months. I proposed last week." "Rachel, why didn't you tell me sooner?" "I wanted to tell you in person," she says, "and I wanted to ask you something." "Will you be my maid of honor?" "Of course," I hug her. "I'm so happy for you." "The kids are going to be in the wedding party too," she says. "If that's okay, they'll love that." We start planning the wedding. It's going to be small, intimate, just close friends and family. Rachel wants to have it in the fall here in Colorado. As we talk about flowers and music and guest lists, I think about how much has changed, how far we've all come. Rachel literally saved my life, and now she's getting married. Starting a new chapter, we all are. 6 months later, on a crisp October afternoon, Rachel gets married. Emma and Tyler are both in the wedding party. Emma wears a burgundy dress and carries a bouquet of sunflowers. Tyler wears a suit and walks Rachel's dog down the aisle as the ring bearer, which is very him. The ceremony is beautiful, simple, and heartfelt. When Rachel and Michelle exchange vows, there isn't a dry eye in the venue. At the reception, Emma gives a toast. Aunt Rachel has been part of our family for as long as I can remember, she says. She's the person who helped my mom when she needed it most. She's the person who never gave up on us, and now she's found someone who makes her as happy as she makes all of us. Michelle, welcome to the family. Fair warning, we're a lot. Everyone laughs. Michelle blows Emma a kiss. Later, I'm dancing with Tyler when he says, Mom, I'm glad things turned out like this. Like what? Like all of us together happy? I know it was hard for a while, but I'm glad we got here. I hug him tight. Me too, buddy, me too. As I look around the reception at Emma laughing with Tyler, at Rachel and Michelle dancing, at my parents chatting with Dorothy, at all these people I love gathered in one place, I feel something I haven't felt in a very long time. Peace. Not the absence of problems. We still have those. Emma is stressed about college applications. Tyler is dealing with typical middle school drama. I still have bad days where the memories come back. But we also have joy. We have love. We have each other. And that's everything. The story doesn't end here. Stories never really end. They just keep going. Emma will go to college. Tyler will finish high school. I'll keep working at the shelter, helping other women find their way out. There will be more challenges, more setbacks, more moments of doubt. But there will also be more victories, more celebrations, more ordinary, beautiful moments of life, because that's what we do. We survive, we heal. We thrive, and we don't give up. Not on ourselves, not on each other. Never again. As the reception winds down and we're saying goodbyes, Emma comes up to me. This was a good day, she says. It was, I agree. I used to be so angry at you, she says. For leaving, for missing so much of my life. My heart clenches. I know, but I understand now. She continues. You left so you could come back. And everything we have now, this family, this life, it exists because you were brave enough to save yourself first. She hugs me. I love you, Mom. I love you too, Emma, so much. And in that moment, I know we're going to be okay.